Well, it's that time of the year again where I gotta reinforce my title as the unconditional Sonicator. Hello again, my name is Mirza, and today I'm here to review this year's annual Sonic Edition. And this time, it's a new racing game. Surprisingly enough, I do have history with Sonic's racing games, so I know a bit about how these should play. And today I'm here to be the judge of whether or not this game is good, as is typical. So how is Sonic Racing Crossworlds? Let's find out. The first thing you do when you open the game is the game asking you whether or not you want to do the tutorial. Your choice doesn't matter with this menu because regardless of what you choose, the game forces you to play a tutorial championship before you can actually play the rest of the game. Choosing the filthy clanker, I head into choosing my kart. Similar to Mario Kart 8, this game also now has kart customization, allowing you to mix and match between the front and rear end of your car as well as the wheels. Additionally, there's a livery system that lets you add stickers to your car or add a color scheme based on a character in the game. Loading in, there's a new minor system, Rivals. No, not that one, or that one. Whenever you start a new championship, the game randomly chooses a rival racer that you will specifically compete against to win, while winning the actual race as well. Heading into the match, it plays exactly how you would think, or if you've played a previous Sonic racing game, then it's a carbon copy, just with better and shinier graphics. One thing you might notice is these red rings. In each race there are 5 rings for you to collect throughout the race in order to earn extra tickets, but we'll get back to those in a second. Now comes the actual Crossworlds part of this game. For this feature, the current leader of the race gets to choose between a pre-selected Crossworld or a random selection for the second lap. Additionally, you can make it freak out by doing this and having it choose between them, which really is just a weighted random more than anything. Going into the third lap, we return to the original track and finish the race. Heading into the after race menu, you get rewarded with a small amount of Donpa tickets. Donpa tickets are used to purchase cosmetics for your car, such as new bumpers, wheels, or decals for your livery. But we don't have quite enough yet, nor have we completed the championship, so let's keep going. If you played the open beta playtest like I did, you'll likely remember a lot of these tracks. However, there are new Crossworlds to choose from, like this one, which I believe is based on the highway level from Sonic Frontiers. Along with that, new power-ups are here that weren't in the playtest, such as King Boom Boom, the Shield, and the Void. Ooh, it's so mysterious. What does it do? No one knows. As shown here, Transformation does make a return. Now, I never played Team Sonic Racing, so I'm not sure if it was in that game as well, but as far as I'm aware, it's a fine addition to this game. Not good, not bad, it just exists, as it always has. Heading into our third race, we get introduced to the existence of boats. Does this mean Bass Pro Shops exist in Sonic's universe? Do you think Big has a Cabela's card, or is he a purebred BPS man? It's questions that remain unanswered to this day. While in the boat, your drift button turns from a drift button into a jump button. The longer you charge down, the more you jump. This is pretty useful, not just for snatching rings or objects, but also for grabbing the occasional red ring. Or if you're really that advanced, you can use it to jump over an aiming glove that's heading right for you. While you might think that completing the third race might be the end of the championship, you're wrong, because now you have the final. Here, you race through all 3 of the previous maps in one race. Winning the race, we finally complete the championship and get to our victory screen. Oh well, as one might say, nobody's perfect. Oh hey, a new character. Anyways, now we unlock the gadget menu. Here you can add perks that help you in the race, such as getting a boost when the race starts, taking rings when you bump into people, or as I have done, hold more items in your inventory. And that's pretty much the gameplay loop of Sonic Racing Crossworlds. Do championships, win, get more tickets, get more gadgets, unlock car parts, that's about it. Now here's the part where I have to critique the game. But before I fully move into my critique, I wanted to get some input first from someone who would have a different perspective than me, a friend of mine called Dark Snowfall. You might recognize him if you've seen my commentary videos, and he's consistently battled with me for years about how my viewpoints are on Sonic. He played through all of Frontiers, and he said it was a really good time. I take issue with this for a multitude of reasons, but the point is that our viewpoints are vastly different. So I wanted to see what his viewpoint on it was, and I asked him to say a few words. Take it away.
So, pretty recently, I was asked by a friend, Mir, you're watching his video right now, my opinion on Sonic Racing Crossworld, and I think it's a really good game. I find it really fun, I find it entertaining, and I really think it's like one of the better things Sega's put out in the last couple of years, and it's Sega's really been having like an uplift on what they've been putting out, and I'm kind of proud of them, to be honest. I just have a couple of nitpicks and a big issue, but we'll cover the nitpicks first. My first nitpick is like the bloom. It kind of makes some of the scenes blend together, and it kind of ruins the contrast, which isn't game breaking by any means. It's just how I feel about the game, and it just doesn't look or feel good while I'm playing the game, and that's not the worst thing, to be honest, because it's still completely playable, and that's the number one standard for making a game. If it's playable, it's alright. It's alright, but I think a slightly bigger issue is some of the animation, and the animation itself is good, don't get me wrong, but I feel it's kind of rigid at times, especially whenever you're doing tricks in the middle of a race. I feel like some usage of like squash and stretch could be used, and that could alleviate some. That really would solve like all the problems I have with it. It just doesn't feel that polished for a AAA title that's released for, what was it, $60, $70? It's just it's I know it's a nitpick, but it really, I feel like it should be just a very slight change that should be made that might assist in the way I feel about the game. Now, those are like two small nitpicks. My biggest nitpick is the sense of speed, right? It doesn't feel fast. Like, sure, if you turn on dynamic camera, it feels faster, but it doesn't feel fast. If I'm playing a racing game, I want to feel like I'm going to, like, run into a wall and fucking die, okay? I want to feel like I'm going to run into a wall and fucking die. That's how fast I want to go. But, you know, all those are things that really can be glossed over if you're playing the game. It's still playable in every way possible. My big issue is the fact Sega still, after a grand total of like 13 years of us having high refresh rate monitors be a relative standard, they've still managed to keep this game locked to 60 FPS. Now, I'm not exactly a person that's too put off by this, but I know people that are like, it makes it a deal breaker, and I can see why it's a deal breaker, because really, this should be a standard. Like, it's not that crazy to be able to have your game go to at least 120 FPS. Really, in my opinion, unlimited to like 240 should be the standard. But you know, 120 works just fine, and it's okay, and I can take it. But this game being released on the modern gen consoles, which one support these high frame rates, and being released on PC at the exact same time, which is known for having these high frame rates, like, leads me to believe that Sega really should have just thought about it or implemented it. They had it in Shadow Gens, so like I feel like it's on their mind, and they just don't think it of importance, even though this is a franchise about being at breakneck speeds. And I mean, that's just my biggest problem. Other than that, it's an extremely fun game. It has a lot of chaos. It's a kart racer. It has fucking Minecraft Steve and Hatsune Miku. I mean, it's incredibly fun. It's just those slight nitpicks and the frame rate cap that has me put off by it.
Well, thank you for your input, Dark. Your opinion has been rejected for being wrong or something. No, just kidding. He certainly has a few good points, and I'd like to consider those as well when you take in what I have to say as well. Take it from both sides and draw what you conclude, I guess. On the outset, I really like this game. Surprising, I know. The traditional 3-time Sonicator likes a Sonic game? Yes. This gameplay is really fun, especially with friends. The item balancing is a bit off, sure, with some items use not being fully explained first, but then again, to a beginner, Mario Kart is certainly the same, so I can't complain there. The kart customization is iffy. On one hand, it's pretty simple and easy to understand, and doesn't mess up your stats too much like Mario Kart tends to. On the other hand, you really have to grind for some of these items, the wheels aren't very appetizing for the most part unless you want your car to look hideous, and the livery system is ancient. You can only apply stickers to the front and back of your car, not the side. You only have 4 slots on each side for stickers, and worst of all, you can't overlay stickers on top of each other. A fundamental rule of livery design, allowing people to stack their designs, is not heard of in Sega's world. Or should I say Crossworlds. The character selection is alright, although I would have preferred the addition of some of Sega's other IPs like Super Monkey Ball or Space Channel 5, the chosen roster will suffice. I'm sure the addition of a Hatsune Miku to the game will certainly draw more attention from those who typically wouldn't try out a Sonic racing game, and her addition feels more natural for a current-gen Sega racing game, to the point where I'm surprised she hasn't shown up before. The graphics of the game are a mixed bag. On the foreground, stuff like the general map, the carts, and of course the characters are very detailed and high resolution. However, in the background, the lesser details are much lower quality. The audience was a standout detail that I noticed all the way back in the open beta playtest, and they haven't changed it at all. Although I recognize that Mario Kart 8 did this as well, that was a game 10 years ago that still looks really good today and on much lesser hardware. While I don't particularly mind the addition of rings to gain speed, in fact I think it makes more sense to tie into Sonic with this, the gameplay feature of losing rings when you bump into the track or other carts is stupid. In a game where you're going to be constantly brushing up against tight corners, and especially other racers, losing rings is dumb. You get punished merely for playing the game or having to pack into a giant crowd of people. And while you use something like the gadget that takes other racers' rings, this is still a bad idea, and I'm rubbed to see it carried over despite the feedback from the open beta. The game's performance is alright, which is surprising. Now, this is mostly helped by the fact that the game is still, in the Big 25, capped to a max of 60 FPS. How many times have we been through this, Sega? First with Frontiers, then Superstars, then Shadow Generations, and now this. Just get with the times and allow for at least 120 FPS, man. Isn't Sonic supposed to be about having the same crucial high-speed reaction time as racing games, and therefore a higher frame rate cap is better? But no, we're still stuck with this, because it shows very badly that Sega couldn't care less about adapting to the PC audience. In fact, one thing I haven't mentioned so far is that there are no PC controls for this game. Sure, you can use WASD on the menu, but you can't actually drive your car with your keyboard. You have to have a controller. Now, while I certainly would not play this game with a keyboard, in fact the only racing game I would is Teardown, not even having the option to is a bit insulting, and it shows that Sega could not care less. And then there's the true killer of this game for me, the price. This alone has killed the entire option of playing this game with my friend group unless it goes on sale. Asking for $70 for a Sonic racing game, let alone with day one DLC and a general lack of content compared to previous entries, is unacceptable. When you directly compare this game to something like Mario Kart 8, in all forms it loses. In roster, in kart selection, in track selection, and in general quality, it is not worth the same price. You want to know what's ludicrous? For the same $70 that this game costs, you can buy all 3 previous Sonic games on Steam and get 3x, heck, maybe even 5x the game content. $40, maybe even $30, is what I would say is a reasonable price for this. But as I've said for a while, because of the success of Sonic Frontiers and its $70 price tag, Sega is going to keep pumping out these $70 games until the profit margins stop being met. With all that said, I rate this game a solid 7 out of 10. It's very good to play with friends and have fun if you like screwing each other over like my friend group does.
Please.
Knock me back to 8th, I'm gonna kill myself.
Fucking passed it by with a drill and I purposely aimed for you when I saw you.
Guys, let me just start with this. I was in first for a little bit there.
Yeah, that's why I smacked your ass with the drill. Stay your bitch ass in 11th.
And while it still is entertaining to play alone, it does leave much to be desired, even outside of the playstyle. There certainly is potential with this game, and if Sega expands on that without demanding more money, as well as lowering this bloody price, this game sets a good path for the future of Sonic. Wait for a sale to hit, or hopefully the upcoming autumn sale, and you'll have some good fun on your hands. And with that, my name is Mirza, and thank you for watching.